This is a film about using design to engage people with political debate. It also looks at the field of design research, so we will look at the modes of engagement, quantitative and qualitative, types of engagement, physical, verbal, digital, and qualities of engagement, sustained or more immediate throwaway experiences. Both Jesse James Garrett's user experience design diagram, the famous chart showing layers of interaction, and Peter Morville's honeycombs are both relevant for this project, but this film will look at design for engagement. Dan Lockton in his project Design with Intent identified a number of areas, or as he referred to them, lenses, that make a product or system work. Key points are feedback, emotional engagement, and transparency. So communication is important, but so is the texture of an action. If I'm using spray paint, how does it feel? To navigate this project, I will introduce 6 key points that are crucial to forming new engagements and stimulating a different kind of interaction with the public. They can be seen as starting points for questioning how you want to interact with people and the quality of connection or engagement you want to achieve. To explore these key points, I will show 6 projects that I used and show what worked, how it worked, and draw some conclusions. The 6 processes I will show are video camera, online test, sandwich board, plotter, vote with your feet, and conversation box. First, the video camera. It's important to say that the camera plays a part in all the projects as a documentary tool, but this is the only one where it is the focal point. A key point is that people have a known outcome and understand what they're working towards when they're speaking with you. So let's start by looking at the results. The first question is, how do you define democracy?
I've been waiting for years for someone to ask me this question. Democracy is the formal right of all citizens to participate in the running of the state.
Just means to be free to do basically what you want to do, doesn't it, really?
Oh, I've no idea. I'm not into all that. I'm sorry.
To pursue happiness, you know.
It means them all crazy. They're all crazy.
The camera allows for people who go beyond the data limit, i.e. people who don't know or people that have a response that differs to what you might expect. And now the second question, how engaged do you feel?
There really is no way that we can get involved unless we choose to have a career in politics.
I think that you have to take a chance that you can make a difference.
For some it's an authority figure, while for others it's just a chance to be on TV. It's also important to think about what type of camera you use. I got the best results when I had a professional looking camera but worked alone. The camera gives you responses that range from the straightforward.
Democracy is about the majority and the views that they should have.
To the peculiar.
We're all human beings, yes? And we can't have everything at the same time. Good, 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 good. Sometimes a little evil have to come into it. Yes?
Through to the poetic.
We're like a whisper in an ocean of noise.
So the first engagement point, agent not subject. It's not you with a microphone and a camera, it's them with the microphone and you giving them the platform. So put the tools in their hands. For many people it might be the first time they've ever held a microphone. Vote with your feet is a more playful and enticing way of engaging people. It contains a visualization element that builds up and gives a history of responses. There are a series of statements and people walk on the one they agree with to darken it and show their opinion. The feedback from this was really good, but the system wasn't quite as good as I'd hoped, so I looked at a new way of doing the same process. Using the aesthetic of political activism, I went back out, but this time asked people to spray a small part of the statement they agreed with. This made things clearer to understand and gave a better impact. People have your trust, there is no great imposition, only a quick spray. By having the 3 statements, you define what people talk about. This allows a more focused engagement, but it's free to be opened up. The action of spraying is hard to resist and people quickly loosen up. It's an immediate impact and an immediate response. A number of people even commented, "That felt good." So people are with you straight away, as you are seen as an enabler. Of course, the object is not an outcome, it's a socio-material investigation into stimulating engagement.
A voting system that will be more explicit.
So perhaps something like this, they might go back, talk to other people about what they've done.
It's different, it's engaging, just meeting you here coming off the train.
So this is point 2. What is the texture of your engagement? If your engagement is more tactile and more appealing, people will get engaged. If I see a spray can, I want to use it. So don't underestimate the base appeal of tactile communication. Online test. Let's now look at digital engagement with statistically based research. Quantitative data based on what people do or feel towards democracy in our country. To create these moments, I knew I needed to offer people feedback on how they fitted within the wider society. I.e., how do your responses and results sit with everybody else's? There are 4 sets of questions that ask about activism and participation, locally and nationally, then aspiration and co-production. These are developed from Demos research into measuring democratic countries. This type of data based on where people live, their age, salary and background could give a more numbers-based response to the question I was asking and provoke a conversation.
Finished. It's got some good questions actually. I'm also a member of the local Conservative Party. I mean, the answers that I put would reflect the results given. Yeah. So I think it's very good.
Some felt that it did ask questions that gave new meaning to being politically engaged, but others felt it told them something they already knew. This brings us to point 3. Every action must have a result. Spray and get a poster, do a survey, get a result. The user must see the impact of what he has done. If he can't see where his actions fit in the context of everyone else's, how can he care about the interaction? Sandwich Board is a playful, quick-to-communicate way of engaging people that removes the restriction on how they respond. People can say anything and it draws its appeal from knowing that your ideas will be shown around the city that day, then online later. Engaging with this narrative as people respond to your opinion throughout the day is what gives it significance. The great success is that the board does provide scenes like this where people are clamouring to write on it, and scenes like this where a full debate begins on the street corner. People are responding not only to what is on the board, but to each other.
No, I can't say I've never voted on camera, can I? Why not? I don't know. All right, I've never voted. Hi, Mum.
I think it's a really good idea. In a way, I think it happens everywhere, but it was interesting to see the young people stop and talk.
So here is point 4. Be clear about what you're doing. Tell people what your intentions are, what their actions are, why you're doing it, and where the results will be seen. Clarity and understanding make people relaxed, friendlier, and more likely to give you the interesting and stimulating responses you're looking for. Conversation Box is a democratic confessional. If you want to say something controversial, then you can do so anonymously. By using the visual of a ballot box, people understand the process and have a cathartic sense of action and opinion logged. The votes then add up to a conversation, both online through Twitter and physically. It recreates the passionate conversations of an internet forum and retains the anonymity, but situates it in the real world. So this relates back to point 2. This is a tactile, symbolic interaction that has a base appeal that comes from the power normally associated with this action. Press your ideas against the world. This had potential to cover new and interesting ground, but after all the work I failed to test it. People are almost always lovely, so get out there and find out. People will tell you what they think. There is never an excuse. The plotter combines the idea of a communal space, a place where stories build up over time, with collecting both incidental conversations and ideas, whilst also asking people questions that could build to qualitative data. It's an open tool, currently set up to plot people's responses to questions, as well as asking them to steer the plotter to where they think they fit on a scale. This is ongoing and will be evolving with new software developments over the coming months, as I open it up to others to draw, plot or log in any way that they think is interesting. The immediacy of the feedback able to be created by the plotter gives the user a sense of satisfaction in having opinion, whilst representing an exciting form of engagement that adds value to their opinion. People control the machines and make them move and create in line with what they think. This adds value to having an opinion, creates a desire for repeat visits, and creates a rich, empowering engagement. In effect, people are bending a system to their will, so this brings the final point. Empower people and physicalise their opinions, let them move machines, or talk to the world, or present their opinions to all of London. Give weight and meaning to having an opinion, and make theirs important. So this video is a tool for people planning explorations in service design, or a starting point to show people that great responses, data and moments can be created through often simplistic interactions, and by focusing on the actions and textures of the engagement. It's for people who want to know what works, how to get the best out of people, and to generate the most interesting research by working with them. And why is it relevant against other forms of research? Mori acknowledged that most research sees the participants as subjects. Although they do work with participative approaches, it's rarely in the political field. The micro-events that I explore each focus on a feeling or experience, whether it's the TV interviewer with the video camera, the spray of paint, or the activation of the robotic plotter. People have an immediate emotive or tactile response and get to feel like the agent, not the subject.